It's a tough weekend last weekend, getting swept at JMU. Thought we had some hangover effect on Tuesday night's game against Southern, but we were able to win that one. And then thought we started playing really good baseball. Probably one of our best games of the year against Northwestern State on Wednesday. And that momentum carried into Friday night. We got after those guys pretty good. We gave up some runs late, which we've done, to make it a lot closer than it was. Then Saturday, I thought Nezu was throwing a great game. We've got an early lead, and we get a leadoff walk, and we get a double play ball after that, and uncharacteristically don't make that play. And then still kind of scrap, and we give up 4 of that inning, scrap our way back into it. I think it's a 6-5 or 5-4 game, 5-4. Going into the 7th, and give up 2-strike home run and follow that with a hit batter and a walk. Another walk and several hits strung in there, along with a couple of wild pitches, and it got away from us, and which was too bad because we out hit them on the day, and just about everything they got was free. That should have been a really tight game going in there to the 8th, 9th inning. And then yesterday was just a heck of a ball game if you like pitching and defense. And we got a 2-1 lead in the 9th. We haven't done a lot of this. We got 2 quick outs. And we get a ground ball to short on the first pitch, and then I believe a punch out. 2-1 count on Lucky, who I thought had a tremendous series. And he's able to lift one into the wind, or with the wind, to left field, tie it up, come back in, and Rock just puts together a great at bat off one of the best closers in the country. He's a dude, and they make just a tremendous play. Brown out there makes a tremendous play to rob him, and then again in the bottom of the 10th, we reach. Debo reaches 2-strike, 2-out knock to right, still second. We've got pound for pound our best guy at the dish, and Heath Hood, and it just didn't work out for us. And just don't like the way that we surrendered it at the end. We got a leadoff walk, pass ball, pop up, which is a blessing. They don't advance him, and we wild pitched to third and a sac fly. And then we weren't able to answer against, like I said, one of the better closers in the country. So that was one of the more gut-wrenching defeats I've experienced in a while, and I can't imagine for those kids because I thought David Christie pitched a heck of a game. I thought Marsh threw the ball real well. We left some guys out there. I think I counted 6 times. Yesterday we had a chance for a 2-out RBI and just couldn't come up with it. And, that's the way it goes. We're going to have to crush these finals this week and regroup and get rolling again this weekend against ULM.
So not having midweek games, does that give you more time to really figure out the pitching thing, or are you already kind of done?
I think Nezu's going to give us our best shot on Friday night. And, we're in a situation, Kev, where we need to win one game at a time. And so all hands on deck, kind of like a tournament, right? We'll do whatever it takes to win that one game. And just with some of the injuries that we have and whatnot, I think that's the way to go about it. And the stuff I saw Nezu feature, first, second outing of the week, was the best stuff I've seen out of one of our guys this year.
Do you think this team has been through enough this year on the good side and the bad side to where overlooking a team that's struggling right now is a temptation or not?
Oh, I would certainly I wouldn't expect that out of our group. They're hungry to play great baseball. Nobody's worked harder. Nobody cares as much or put in more time than these guys have. And sometimes I think that can have the reverse effect on us. We want it too bad or try too hard at times, especially some of those 2-out runner and scoring positions that we find ourselves in. But like I told you this morning, we've proven we can beat anybody in the country. We've proven we can lose to anybody in the country. What we've got to do is find that good wave and ride that thing to the finish line and see how hot we can get at the end.
With that in mind, just trying to get hot, how do you feel like your team is going to answer the call to get themselves back on track and get hot at this point in the season?
Well, it starts with pitching, right? And you're only as good as your next day's starter, and so I felt pretty good going into Friday with Jackson. What we haven't done a ton of, and you saw some of it against Northwestern State and a few other games, we haven't done a ton. Maybe you probably couldn't even count, or you count it on one hand, where we've combined pitching, defense, and a great offense on the same day. And I know we've had a couple of 5-6 game streaks, but even then, some of it's a struggle on one side or the other. And so you just continue to work and continue to look. We're in a really this team's being really tested right now with and it's a test of toughness, and most common people quit for the best part, and I just don't think that's this team. And you'll never know when an 8, 9, 10 game win streak's right around the corner if you stop. And so we'll embrace the challenge and regroup. Yeah, it was a bitter defeat. I can argue we could have swept this weekend. I really can. Saturday was freebies, 10 free passes with no outs. I mean, you couple that with 8, 9, 10 hits by those guys, and you're going to be on that side of the score. Take that away, and it's a tight game. Ball could have very easily been popped up, and we're sitting here talking about, well, we just took 2 out of 3 from 6th rated team in the country. We've shown we can play with anybody, and we've also shown we can play with anybody.
Coach, in terms of the pitching staff, how would you evaluate the Johnny Holstaff approach of the last week?
I think it works tremendously well with a staff that may not have just a go-to guy or 2 or 3 that are going to eat up innings, and a lot of those guys are banged up for us, right? But where it can fall apart is if 1 to 2 guys don't pull their weight, and then you get in a position where you're behind the 8 ball. And I think we had a little bit of both of that this weekend.
Coach Kyle, is he going to be, you can tell he's not the same hitter that he was before the injury. Is he having to take a different approach, and is that something he's going to fight for the rest of the year? Or?
Yeah, he'll probably fight that for the foreseeable future. He's playing on guts, and he can't hurt that thing any worse. But he's just playing on guts right now. And he was a kid, unfortunately, that when he did go down, he was really snapping and turning that bat head with his bottom hand, and he was explosive. And you're starting to see some of that. He's still getting his hits, but you can tell some of the pitches that give him a problem and maybe bite him a little bit for the next swing or two. And so he's playing on smarts and talent and guts right now. Unbelievable play he made yesterday.
What have you seen out of your opponent in ULM this weekend?
I've watched him a few times on video, actually scouting other teams. And, so it's another team that can beat you. I think they've beaten some teams this year. And I think it's just a matter of, us going in and playing our game and pounding the strike zone and continuing to play good defense. I think that's a key too. That can cover up some stuff. And when that failed us on Saturday, you saw what happens. And then we need to stay hot offensively. We kind of cooled off a little bit in games 2 and 3, and mainly that was with 2 outs. So we're going to have to bang our way through this thing. And, ULM is more than capable of beating anybody.
You mentioned about coupling together great pitching and also hitting. I guess, do you feel the need to get even more aggressive and stealing bases or trying to help the base running to make that be a perfect marriage in any game?
Yeah, yesterday some of that was just what the game presented. And Roby in the 4th and 6th, I believe, 2 quick outs, he reaches via the walk. And so we're going to steal him, try to get him in scoring position. If he gets thrown out, he gets thrown out. We'll lead off with Debo. The running game is we take what I believe is there. And sometimes we're pretty good at it. couple of times this weekend, I didn't like the jumps we got. Hoodie, I don't know if he was barking yesterday or not, but that's a base I would expect us to steal there in the bottom of the 8th without having to use the bunt. So thought there is we're chasing one run. Hoodie leads off. I can't remember if it was a walk or a hit. But he reaches first. We got Higgs up, so we're going to steal second, and then I'll use the short game to move him to third with runner at third and 1 out just to grab that extra run, but we got thrown out right there. So running game's tricky, especially when everybody knows you're running. Everybody in the country knows we're running. Everybody in the stands knows we're running. It can get tough sometimes. But the key to that is having base runners. And so we'll take what's there if it's there. And it's slowed down for us a little bit, but some teams have defended it pretty good too at times.
Is it the same approach in the first inning as it is later in the game with the running game?
I think it gets more aggressive late. If you said, hey, do you want to try to steal Hood there again? If we could replay that, yeah, I would just tell him to get a better jump. We're definitely going to do that. Early, kind of play it out, see what's there for us. I've seen the pitcher and catcher on video, but you really don't know, is he going to be the same time to the plate against us as he was in the replays I was watching, right? So you got to kind of see what's there. Is the catcher tipping something? A lot of the bases we've stolen this year are just on tips from the pitcher to catcher. And so this weekend, they didn't present a whole lot to us. Wednesday night against Northwestern State, there was an obvious tip there. And so we were able to expose that a little bit. They did a pretty good job. It's a good freshman catcher they got. And he'll kind of lull you to sleep. He'll lob it down in between innings, and then he made pretty good throws on the money this weekend. I think we stole 9 bases, but I think we got caught another 6 or 7 times probably.
Any update on Dylan?
Not yet. I have not talked to Brian today.
So, do certain guys have green lights, or are you calling all the steals?
Everybody has a green light until they don't. And, I would say it's 80-20, me calling it. And I'm not going to reveal the way we do it, but you won't see it. Kind of hide in plain sight.
What is it about Heath's makeup that has allowed him, since he's joined the program, to not only be consistent offensively, but I can argue that he's hitting the best he's hit since he's been with you guys? Just
an incredible athlete. He's always reminded me of Seth Harrison. Just an unbelievable combination of speed, strength, determination. And he's learned how to play the game aggressively. And, every once in a while he'll have a tap dance moment, but for the most part he's learned how to be the aggressor. And his skill set is better than 85% of the people he's going to go up against. And I think when he started believing that, he realized who he was and what he could become. And, he's had a pretty good 2-year career so far.